encouraging men to get their breasts examined.
Look at the international front. Israeli Prime Minister warns Lebanon's Hezbollah against opening a second war front of Israel. We're live around the world on 3news.com. That's our website. We're also streaming on Facebook and on DSTV. You're watching us on channel 279.
In the details tonight, the Minister of Information says it is not true that the military has recalled its men from Mepe, one of the towns affected by the Akosombo Dam spillage. Kojopo Nkrumah, who says he has been in constant communication with the Chief of Defense Staff, explained that in due time the Ghana Armed Forces will put out clarity on where they are moving their attention within the region regarding support efforts.
I've just been speaking to the Chief of Defense Staff about it. He says the military has not been asked to withdraw from the Volta region and that they are going to put out clarity on where they are moving their attention to within the region. It's still within the same region and they are operating in different parts of the region. And from what he tells me, the military will be giving an update on where their efforts are being concentrated in the days to come. But from what he tells me, he says it is not true that they have been asked to withdraw from the region. But in the coming days, in the coming hours, they themselves will put out details of where their attention is being focused at this point in time.
And let's go and hear from the Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, who spoke to TV3 earlier in the day regarding the same issue of the military men who had been deployed there, moving their boats and other accoutrement due to an order they had been given.
There's order from above that the military should unpack and should leave the scene. As you can see from the situation, their water levels have not receded. They have been helping us to cut relief items across this man-made rig. More than 1,500 people at the St. Kizito camp. So how are we going to be taking care of them? How are we going to be sending them their medicines, their relief items, when the military, who have been here and have been very, very helpful, very, very cooperative? I mean, who is doing this? The government is not treating this disaster with the seriousness it deserves. You have already destroyed so many livelihoods. You have destroyed so many properties. You have plunged us into total chaos. As we speak, we are currently without homes, without jobs. More than 12,000 people have been displaced. They are crammed in classrooms, no sanitary facilities. And the little respite you can give us, the little support, you see government withdrawing that support. Whoever took this decision must be called out. And we demand that the order should be reversed and the military should be brought back because they are needed here.
Well, so that's, I beg your pardon, he's a Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. So the latest we got is that the military had been asked to return. There seemed to be some discomfort or disquiet about this. Clarity is needed, clearly, to get to know what exactly is happening. But let's interact with Saji Amedonu, who is Deputy Director General of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO. Sir, good evening. Thank you for joining us. For residents of Germany whose homes have been clearly impacted by these flood waters, what has the latest been from NADMO's perspective regarding, the assistance you've been able to give them?
Yeah, good evening.
Can you hear me, sir?
Please take it again. Good evening. I didn't hear you clearly.
Right. So I was asking that. So now we are going to be specifically speaking on the issues of development in Germany, where we are told that those that have been impacted say they seem to have had some assistance from NADMO. But on the whole, what exactly has NADMO been able to do for these victims?
The victims of Germany or?
Yes, Germany specifically.
Okay, tomorrow myself and the Volta Regional Minister will be moving in there with some items to also assist the victims. We have done some quick assessment, and based on the assessment, we have provided some items we are sending there tomorrow for the people of Germany.
Right. We got information earlier today that the military had been asked to move out of the area, the Navy specifically. And later we also heard that it is not true that they've been recalled from the area. From NADMO's perspective, we know you've been working in collaboration with them. What do you know? What is the information on the ground?
Well, we have different groupings of the military on the ground. We have the Navy, we have the 48 engineers. We have close to 40 to 50 between the Navy and the 48 engineers, close to about 50 people, 50 military men on the ground. I mean, there's no indication that anybody has been withdrawn as we speak. We are coordinating the activities of this response from an EOC we have set up at ourselves. We have not put out any information that the military has been withdrawn.
Okay. And maybe before you take leave of us, we know that due to the water levels in the area, your only way of moving around would be using boats. How many of these boats do you need? How many do you have? What other assistance will be needed in moving some of these relief items that you've gotten to the affected communities?
Well, we have quite a number of boats, close to almost about 10 boats. The 48 engineers brought in 4. The Navy also brought in, I think, about 4. The National Security also brought in about 2 of them. But on that particular water that you referred to, moving relief items to affected persons in those safe havens, the water itself has been declared by the Ghana Health Service as completely contaminated. But it is the only access route to the safe haven as we speak. But we are working seriously on an alternative route. The contractors started work yesterday. They were on site today. We are hopeful that by tomorrow or tomorrow next, when the access road is completed, we will actually cordon off that means of transport on that water, because we don't want a public health issue on our hands. So we are waiting patiently to get this road fixed. After it is done, we will not allow anybody to move any boat on that water. But we have to get the road done first, so that that can be an access for us to move in and out in managing the affairs or issues of the affected victims.
Okay, Mr. Saji Amedonu, thank you so much for your time, and definitely we'll be coming back to you in subsequent days as all of this, we all try to bring some relief to our affected Ghanaian brothers and sisters.
Right, Martin. Meanwhile, business owners are bearing the brunt of the current flooding in Germany. In the Volta region, many have lost their livelihoods as homes and shops are submerged in water. Judith Brown reports.
It's a sorrowful scene in Germany, located in the South Dai constituency of the Volta region. A huge portion of the community, with over 24,000 residents, is submerged in water. Residents have lost property in the flood, with homes and businesses submerged.
This is just one amongst many shops that have been submerged in water here in the Germany community. Now, many have lost their livelihoods, their businesses. This is their only means of survival. This woman is amongst them, and she has lost all her goods in the flood, and so she's unable to take care of her family, including 4 children.
Florence is a mother of 4 whose husband is deceased. She tried to open up a business to fend for her family without much support. But now, the same business she fought to maintain is destroyed.
These are among the few things that Florence was able to save from her shop. And if this, according to her, is few, then imagine the amount of goods lost in the floods. Even this place, according to her, was given to her by one of her friends to store the rest of her goods in the meantime.
I took a loan to start my business before the floods, but I've lost almost everything.
She's now jobless and has no means of survival.
The water take my goods all away, and all the goods are spoiled, and the money too all gone. I lose a lot of money. I'm not doing any work. I just pack the goods, the small one I took at the house. I don't get any place to start. I have children, 4 children, so it's difficult for me to look after them.
Indeed, many in this community are suffering the same ordeal, if not worse. Sadly, no one has come to their aid since the floods began.
No one has come yet. I may say NADMO came here, directors came here twice from the district without any help. So we didn't have any help from them. In actual fact, all attention has been sent to North Tongu and South Tongu.
The community is in need of urgent help. Judith Brown, TV3 News, Germany, Volta region.
Away from the flood-related stories now, and former Environment Minister Professor Kwabena Frimpong maintains that he provided sufficient evidence to police investigators to enable prosecution of individuals he had alleged were frustrating the fight against illegal mining. Attorney General Godfred Dame had earlier this month described a report that was authored by Professor Frimpong as mere conjecture and lacking any evidence.
Kwabena Frimpong in his 2021 report to the Chief of Staff alleged some key government appointees and top NPP members had been frustrating the fight against illegal mining. The report leaked this year, sparking calls for relevant state agencies to investigate the matter. The police, Office of Special Prosecutor and SHRAJ have since commenced investigations into various aspects of the allegations. Attorney General Godfred Dame, in an opinion on the police docket, described the professor's work as mere conjecture and lacking evidence. He also alleged Prof. Boateng had failed to cooperate with police investigators, a claim the former Environment Minister disagrees with.
What does it mean by hard evidence? I mean, as somebody who has written a report, what evidence do you expect from me, apart from words, documents, videos, and things, pictures? I'm not an investigating agent. That's not my job. I was a chairman of a committee, and I wrote a report. So you have to go around and see whether what I'm saying is not true.
The former minister believes the Attorney General did a poor job if his conclusion is that his report does not offer much.
If the AG decides not to see anything or doesn't see anything, I cannot say anything. It's up to him. That's how he interprets information.
On the state of governing New Patriotic Party, he insists it no longer aligns with its ideals and that unseen hands have taken over affairs of the party and by extension government.
I believe that the actions of people who have no appointments in government and who have no party positions, but who appear to wield power, that is one thing that is disturbing us, because they have access to the seat of government, and it's rumored that if you need an appointment, you need a job, or you need something, you need to be in your good books, that kind of thing. This is one area that disturbs me.
He's also unhappy about what he says is the push of powerful members of the party to have the vice president lead into 2024 polls.
I mean, yes, he seems to be a favorite of people who seem to matter in the party and so on. But I still say that if we are strong, then we leave him and to compete on a level playing field. But then if party people, government appointees, are more or less whipped in line to toe that line, it shows that he's weak and he needs, that kind of support.
For those who may be wondering why the former minister has in recent times been quite critical of government and what the motivation could be, well, This is what he had to say.
The president said we should be citizens and not spectators. So I'm offering my views to make the party stronger and Ghana a better place.
Would you consider yourself a traitor of the NPP?
Oh, not at all. I'm a patriot. That's what I would say. Oh, no, don't. The word traitor is too far away from, should be far away from my dwelling place.
Let's now focus on health. Breast cancer is a disease that overwhelmingly affects women, but men get it too. One of them is Abeku Arthur. Now today, Abeku reveals his scars to the world to break the cycle of stigma and to encourage men to also have their breasts examined. Oshagabo reports.
Welcome.
Thank you.
My name is Abeku Arthur, a breast cancer survivor. Let me show you the scars on my chest before we start everything.
How does it make you feel?
Nothing, I'm alive, and that's the most important thing.
To Abeku Arthur, these scars serve as a reminder of his breast cancer diagnosis journey in 2007.
I used to have a big breast. So anytime I wore t-shirt, the woman would just fondle with my breast. Oh, say, special office. Oh, say. I was feeling so bad. So I had a father surgeon who took me as a younger brother. So I told him, Doc, I have big breasts. Can something be done about it? So he said, if you can, I can reduce it for you. I was so busy at work, so I kept on postponing. But once in a while, I'll see a dot of blood on my bed. But I was thinking it was mosquito bite. So one morning, when I was going to work, I put on my singlet. Then a dot of blood came from the left side, showed in the singlet. So I took off the singlet, squeezed it, blood came, but it wasn't paining me.
He recalled how he braced himself to embark on a fight for his life.
Portia, I couldn't do anything. There was this still voice telling me, go and cut your breast, go and cut your breast, persistently. I said, no, this is from God. So I called my surgeon, oh, Doc, I'm ready. Also, come. So I went, we booked, then we went to theater, reduced the tissues, put my nipples there. I was so happy that, oh, at least now I'm a man. There come 3-4 weeks. After he's done the surgery, he went, I think he took it to the lab, and the result came that there's cancer at the left side. Now I had to go for them to open up to my armpit to scrape everything off. So I went, and that was done.
Then came the grueling cancer treatment.
Chemo is very, very, very horrible. Very horrible. You know, they put poison in you, and it kills both the good and the bad cells. Yes. But Portia, after 4 days, after the first shot, I couldn't do anything. My mouth was tasteless. You can't even eat. You feel so weak. The hair on you will go off. Every part, there won't be any hair anywhere. Then afterward, you have to do radiation. After the radiation, it's so funny. That's when they will let you sign on the taking that you are doing it at your own risk.
Abeku is now on a mission to break the cycle of stigma, confronting men diagnosed with breast cancer, and wants men to regularly undergo examinations.
I think about 4 years ago, one of these NGOs were talking about men, and they were laughing at them. Oh, how can a man get a breast? Even when I came on, they were laughing. That, oh, it's not true. Until I opened my chest for them. Just go and check. If you go and it's not, there's nothing, it's cool. And you are safe. But don't wait. And there's people who say, oh, my feelings is in my brain. Hey, I say, hey. So because of your feelings, you will stay and die. No. So I'm just pleading with my people. Just go and check.
He urged government to help defray the cost of cancer treatment.
Portia, when I was doing my treatment, 2007, the drug which was good for me was 2,500. 2007. But I was fortunate, Snit was taking care of my health issues. But you'll be there, somebody will come, 200 Ghana cedis, the person won't come again, all that you hear, the person is dead.
According to the World Health Organization, approximately 0.5 to 1% of breast cancers occur in men. Abeku Wafa, now a pink warrior, had an advice for men.
Some of the people say, oh, it will come back. It will never come back. It will never come back. I am healed and healed totally by God. So please, I'm appealing to you. I don't want you to die. Keep yourself alive.
And yes, men can also have breast cancer. And he tells me that his scars show that he is a survivor. So if you're a man watching me, go out there and have your breast examined. Portia Gabo, TV3 News, Accra.
I'm so happy that Abeku is sharing his story.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, I was having an argument with a guy that, you know, men also get breast cancer. So I'm happy that he's willing to share his story.
Yeah, it may be in the minority, but definitely you may want to go and get it tested. After all, if you don't have it, all the better. Away from that to some other very pressing stories. For many people born without limbs or for persons who have had their limbs amputated, it can be a distressing moment in their lives as they are faced with stigma and low self-esteem. A young Ghanaian, Gideon Ru, is changing the narrative, giving amputees a sense of self-esteem by replacing their missing body parts with artificial limbs. Now, he is part of a team organizing a road trip from Germany to Ghana to set up 3 limb camps in Mauritania, Liberia, and Ghana to provide free artificial limbs to amputees.
Aisha Mohammed was born this way with a missing upper limb. She tells me she's had to battle low self-esteem and stigma due to her condition.
My friends do treat me like I'm not part of them. Why? Because I'm a disabled person.
Today, she's been assured of having a new hand to improve her quality of life. Gideon Ru is a prosthetics and orthotics technologist under the Volta Regional Health Directorate and founder of the First Rate charity. He and his team have been helping give prosthetic or artificial limbs through the hand project to amputees and the less privileged.
As an orthopedic specialist, I have come across a lot of people without hands, without legs, and most of the time I've been trying to write proposals outside to get help to help these people because mostly we realize they don't have the means to purchase the leg and the hands. So coming across a lot of people, persons with disability, really motivated me to do something to support them.
Aisha is first assessed before a customized hand is designed for her to enable her to do basic human activities like reading, writing, and sweeping. For the first time, she performs a house chore with both hands. Aisha, for the first time in your life, you are sweeping. How does it feel?
Oh, I feel so exciting. I'm more happier than happy because without this, like, I didn't think of maybe sweeping. In terms of wearing long sleeves dress, going out, and that will be also fashionable on me.
After 2 days, Aisha is a proud teacher in school, teaching her pupils with a new hand. Aisha is not the only one. Hundreds of Ghanaians who previously could not perform basic life activities with both hands can now do so. Things we take for granted, like using our hands to drink from a mug and writing, are another person's dream come true.
I am grateful for my new hand. Government should help others get new limbs.
Now Gideon is working with a team that has begun a road trip from Germany to Ghana in 21 days, covering 8,500 kilometers with 22 volunteers to give free prosthetic hands to those who need them by setting up 3 limb camps in Mauritania, Liberia and Ghana. Gideon wants more attention paid to the less privileged in society, especially amputees and those born without limbs.
Most especially with the tax and the duties we pay when we receive the items from the airport. That is our biggest challenge. Sometimes they go for interviews and they are not selected for the job because of their condition. So I just want to give dignity to them in a sense that they can also do something like a handiwork. So one major thing we have in the pipeline is having a vocational training school for persons with disability.
All the best to Gideon and his team. Now, their job involves putting patients to sleep and numbing parts of their bodies to manage their pain. Without them, most surgeries would be impossible. In this report, Emmanuel Samani puts the spotlight on the role of anesthetists in patients' healthcare.
Now, this aspect of medicine is crucial to patients' healthcare, one often overlooked but undeniably essential, the role of anesthesiologists. These medical professionals are the unsung heroes behind the scenes, ensuring that patients experience surgery with comforts and safety. Join me as we shine the spotlight on the crucial work of anesthesiologists and explore the indispensable impact they have in healthcare.
So at the anesthesia clinic, our main aim is to make sure that the patient is fit for surgery. And we have a checklist or a couple of questions that we ask to ensure that the patient can undergo anesthesia safely and then come out of surgery. So when you walk in and maybe you are coming for a fracture surgery, I will counsel you on the type of anesthesia that I'll be giving you so that you know what to expect in theater. So now let's go into theater and see what happens. As you can see, there's surgery going on for a patient. Anesthesia plays a vital role here in making sure that the patient does not remember anything surrounding the surgery. Patient comes out without any traumatic experiences such as being aware, and also patient ends up having the surgery and not having any pain at all. So after the surgery, the anesthesia will be reversed. We have drugs that we can use to do that. Patients will wake up and then we send the patient off to the recovery.
So when the patient comes in here after surgery, the first thing we do is to monitor their oxygen levels, monitor their heartbeats, monitor their blood pressure. This is because the effect of the operation plus the effect of the anesthesia sometimes reduces the blood pressure, and we have to give them medication to bring it back up. Sometimes, because they are so drowsy from the effects of the anesthesia, they are not able to breathe properly. So we have to put them on the life support machine to breathe for them, or maybe give them a little extra oxygen until they are wide awake. So we do this until all the anesthesia drugs have gone out of the system, and then they can go to the wards. So anesthesia is key and central to healthcare, both medicine and surgery. Without anesthesia, surgery will be unbearable and maybe impractical, because if you have to cut someone, even a small cut, they will experience pain and discomfort. And sometimes the surgery is in the abdomen, in the brain, in the heart, and very extensive. The advances that have been made in surgery is because we are able to anesthetize the patient, make them as unreactive. That means they can't respond. They are not aware of what is happening. They are not in pain, almost lifeless. And then after the operation, bring them back to life just the way they were. You can't do this without anesthesia.
I'm Dr. Ago, and I'm an anesthetist.
My name is Dr. Chris Owu, and I'm an anesthesiologist.
My name is Dr. Obin, and I'm an anesthetist.
Now, it is evident that these dedicated professionals play a pivotal role in saving lives. The expertise goes beyond inducing sleep and helping patients breathe. It's also about navigating the delicate balance between life and intervention. Emmanuel Samani, TV3 News, Kolebo Teaching Hospital, Accra.
All right, still watching News 360, still to come. We will be giving you a look into the world's toughest anti-drug laws and which specific countries that coming from. Details of that and more coming right after this. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
You dey sleep? That's Madina.
Sentuntum say wuna ma deju me ma wonsa.
Efrema be magani oba.
Ma wonsa. Sentuntum ma muda ma wonsa.
That shall not slap. Having black mosquito que. Pamon tontom na empom wisie bebre na ema wo mowa na ema wo nhwem na ehwam.
Having insecticide spray eye hwam na sanso kum a wotu ene omo wia nyina. Now having naphthalene balls and having perfumed insect repellent no ekumwa warrior nothing just here with
having black mosquito que empom wisie bebre and say wo hene so ehwam kama kwe no emubu na jumo size no boduma don't shred do me no
and a heaven spray having naphthalene balls ni perfumed insect repellent no ekumwa omutu na wa wonam from nothing just here with
heaven dear bakope heaven dear
Heaven dear!
Heaven dear!
FDA actually a dread kratoyatum.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, Soft Care always stays with you.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
The overall best student goes to Kwabena.
That's get a TV. Surprise! Wow. TCL air conditioners are the best because it cools so well.
Wow. No comment.
Always buy the best from TCL. TCL. Inspire greatness.
There are some moments that last forever because they happen only once. Like your very first day, your first day of school, your first successful bike ride. What's your child's next milestone? Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture is here to ensure they smile through it all. Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture has been keeping children smiling for more than a decade by relieving them from gastric pain, flatulence, minor digestive upset, and teeth and discomfort. Now, Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture. Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture is manufactured and distributed by Ernest Chemists Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back to News 360 on TV3. Let's shift our attention to some other stories now. And despite growing international pressure from the United Nations and Amnesty International for Singapore to make an amendment to some of its laws, the country insists that the death penalty is an effective deterrent against drug trafficking. 3 hangings were carried out in just over a week alone in August this year. George Quinning explores one of the world's toughest anti-drug laws and its diplomatic consequences.
In Singapore, trafficking more than 500 grams of cannabis or more than 15 grams of heroin can result in the death penalty. The capital punishment makes the island state one of the countries in the world with toughest anti-drug laws. On August 3, 2023, 39-year-old Mohammed Shaleh Abdul Latif was sentenced to death for possessing about 55 grams of heroin in 2019. He became the 16th prisoner put to death since the government resumed executions in March 2022 after a 2-year pause during the COVID-19 pandemic. The execution, the 5th hanging this year, comes less than a week after Singapore executed the first woman in nearly 20 years for drug trafficking despite condemnation from rights groups. Tangaraju Supia, 46 of Tamil descent, on April 26, 2023, was hanged at dawn in Singapore's Changi prison after being convicted in 2018 of abetting the smuggling of 1.02 kilograms of cannabis back in 2013. As is customary, Tangaraju's family was given only 1 week notice before his execution. In 2022, Singapore executed 11 people, all for drug-related offences. According to advocates, at least 50 more people are awaiting their turn at the gallows, although the country has not disclosed the exact number of its death row inmates. In Singapore, there are mixed opinions about the capital punishment for drug trafficking.
There are other punishments that they can do, but in terms of execution, it's way too far. Even the Western country, they are trying to ban it. When you kill someone, they should kill again. And talking about drugs, that is way too far.
And as a Christian, I don't believe any human being has a right to take the life of another person. But if you look at the other side of it, the repercussions of drug use and how it's destroying the lives of the youth of the world, sometimes it is up to a nation to make rules such that it serves as a deterrent for others.
I don't think it's harsh. I believe that every jurisdiction has its own laws, and if you break the laws in those jurisdictions, you have to face the consequences of it. I think anybody who comes in here knowing the death penalties and knowing the harsh consequences for specific things, know what they're walking themselves into. You could not possibly not known that you're coming into a place with drugs and not be executed. So if you take the risk, then you should be willing to do the time for it.
But Singapore is not backing down on a death penalty for drug trafficking, which has been described as barbaric and inhumane by some human rights activists. Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong says the country is reaping some significant gains from the laws.
Barbaric? Well, the Australian press is colourful. Many adjectives have been used, but we uphold the rule of law, and the rule of law has to apply impartially to Singaporeans and foreigners alike.
Singaporean Prime Minister believes untold misery and suffering to thousands of addicts and their families have been curtailed. Singapore's drug laws cannot be told without mention of the controversial execution of 38-year-old Nigerian Chijioke Obioha on May 23, 2023, following a lengthy legal process. Obioha, an industrial chemistry graduate from the University of Benin, had originally moved to Singapore in 2005, hoping to be a footballer. In April 2007, he was arrested for possessing over 2.6 kilograms of cannabis, surpassing the 500-gram threshold that triggers the presumption of trafficking under Singaporean laws. The execution took place just 2 days after the Singaporean government denied his appeal for clemency. Across the world, about 111 countries have completely abolished the death sentence for all crimes, while 53 countries still maintain it. In August this year, Ghana abolished the death penalty for ordinary crimes, something activists say is in line with international best practices. Ghana's law does not allow for the death sentence for a crime such as drug possession and trafficking, but previously, the crime was punishable with a minimum of 10-year jail sentence. In July this year, Ghana's parliament passed a Narcotics Control Commission bill to allow cannabis cultivation for industrial and medicinal purposes. The anti-drug trafficking laws in Singapore may have some positive impact that the government is touting, but could that mar the diplomatic relations it has with other countries across the world?
It has diplomatic consequences. In diplomacy, you give what you expect. So there is a serious reciprocity. And if Singapore is doing this to a country, they should expect that the country would really not be happy. It may, if they don't handle it well, it may veer onto other things, trade, you know, all kinds of relationship can break down up to diplomatic relationship. When you are doing these things and a country please, you might want to relax because of that specific country, not necessarily the law.
but because of what you think you can lose.
Under Singaporean law, when there is a presumption of drug possession and trafficking, the burden of proof shifts from the prosecutor to the defendant. While there are concerns from rights groups like Amnesty International that Singapore may be violating international laws on implementing the death sentence, the country says it is determined to continue pushing its anti-drug trafficking campaign. But some citizens in Singapore hope the country will consider repealing the death sentence for drug trafficking. George Quinnin, TV3 News, Singapore.
Away from that, the University of Education, Winneba, has emerged the winner of the 2023 Graphic Tertiary Business Science Challenge. In a thrilling finale at the TV3 studios here in Accra, the University of Education bids competition from the University of Cape Coast and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
Be unfair to another party if they are using the litigation limiting clause.
That is correct.
The 5th edition of the Graphic Tertiary Business Science Challenge, in partnership with TV3, was full of tension and fireworks. It was a keenly contested grand finale among the 3 tertiary institutions. The event, organized by the Graphic Business newspaper in partnership with the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana and TV3, witnessed an enthusiastic audience. The participating schools were the defending champions, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, representing the Northern Zone, the University of Education, Winneba, a first-time finalist, and the University of Cape Coast, UCC, a 2-time winner from the Middle Zone. The competition involved 5 rounds of a 2-hour intensive practical session testing the business sense of the contesting students.
We have activation of fleet services, which will be operated and managed by the service provider, and also the compliance with all relevant laws. That is correct.
From the outset, UEW asserted its dominance and maintained a commanding lead throughout the competition, ultimately gaining an impressive 67.9 points. The University of Cape Coast secured 2nd place with 51 points, followed closely by KNUST with 49.6 points.
If you've watched our previous contest, I think this one wouldn't be a surprise to you, because we have been consistent with what we do and we did it again. Our school is a very good school, let me tell you that, because what we are doing there, with this exposure, you guys will see us next year and you see what we will do again.
The toughest round, the calculation side, those questions, truth be told, they are not 30 seconds questions, And then we have some little challenges at the true or false segment too. So with these 2 sides, we can say that they are our, toughest as far as the contest is concerned.
First-time finalist UEW now stands alongside KNUST, UDS and UCC as champions of this prestigious competition.
Congratulations to the winning schools. This is News 360. We have some sports news next. Stay with us.
When you're little, days are extremely busy. Work, traffic jams, meetings, conference calls. Luckily, our mom is here to take good care of us with day-by-day baby and day-by-day kids, and their naturally active ingredients. Our skin is hydrated, soothed, and protected all day long. Yes, hello?
Honey, new sample! And a pot evaporated milk. Ooh. Tasty and creamy, right?
So.
And a pot milk, a custard one, a fine. Nasa wa Tom Brown no rice water muswa, a nice. Honey, trip na baso. Made the end up mayonnaise. And I'm there salad, and a burger, fries, and a tasty ketchup, and a good side. Coffee ni jollof, made the end up a long green rice. Oh, you are one. Don't forget your favorite and a chocolate milk drink.
Oh, more quite so.
Honey, you are sorted.
I I'm in control like a pilot on Enapa Airways.
Mama.
Me no.
Enapa, I can't stand it.
Just a moment. Enapa ha.
Yeah.
Enapa. Oh yeah, Jack Macron no more. It's you chana kasede. Hey yo kontomre. Udokni tomato sauce I want you bebre. Enapa sardine for box with salad here. Hey yo stew. Ana jollof. Na betre mwa. That don't know it though. Oto dan. Enapa wofia. O metibani ye dewa. You want a soy sauce? Check for you, sir. Oh, more tasty. And a baked beans for the breakfast. Let's all salad. Oh, she and a tuna. We're trying to puffle. Let's all salad. Oh, taste good. And a pan on dairy creamer. 4 box with so kinsey oats. Na creamy tino. You and a spaghetti. Talia papa bee. Mansuni sijadu re. Nafa and a spaghetti no gum. Wo and a pataliano are you ready for watching on you with stew. So ya no pa no so
Inkrati FDA appendo.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities of 1,000 cedis and upwards, all you have to do is call and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID, no savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. Call Quick Credit today, 0302 200 390 or 059 692 0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
A caring heart, a shoulder to lean on, and a helping hand to those in trouble. This is our duty as brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters. Together, let's help put a smile on the faces of the communities affected by the Akosombo Dam spillage. Please send donations to Media General or to 3 Foundation. You can also send us mobile money via our merchant's code and the mobile money number displayed on your screen, or via our bank account number. Please help. Together we can make things better for our friends. My name is Na Shoko. Help us.
Sports segment is brought to you by
Bell Pack Tissues.
It's time for sports here on News 360. I am Aniela Alute. We begin with match day 6 of the Ghana Nations FC. The Porcupines have now been held to a draw for the 3rd time in 6 matches this season. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Which was nearly marred by the red. The corner kick is on there! Nations FC in the right place at the right time. Out of nothing. An advantage of a free kick. It's on Gaston Ejepong. Blocked by goalkeeper. Oh! Goalkeeper tested twice. And eventually. And this time around, can't they say? Still has the ball. On the pass, Lamte through the middle. This is good. Kotoko This is Asante Kotoko. Moment like this, the big clubs show up. They step up, consider the first goal, equalize from 18 yards. Was there a clutch there? Chance for Nations. Appeal for the penalty, it definitely won't hold. That team Kadri. Kiara is ready and he goes 1, 2, 3, picks his spot. And Nations are back in the game. How he took it.
Proceeding to the third quarter-final game of the African Football League, DR Congo Giants TP Mazembe defeated Esperance Tunis 1-0. Sheikh Fofana scored the only goal in the 11th minute. Here are the highlights.
Short this corner. Kinzumbi whips into the far post, and we have the opening goal. 11 minutes gone, and it's a powerful header from Sheikh Fofana. Well, he's been banging form in recent times. Very much a player to keep an eye on. And Rodriguez again. Rodriguez through the legs, and they have the equaliser. Wonderful pass through from Rodriguez, and the ball crashed into the roof of the net. The decision is going to be offside. And this was the very tight offside decision. Kinzumbi to escape down the right. Kinzumbi cutting inside. Kinzumbi! It's turned behind by Mamish. Terrific hit there from Kinzumbi. It is all over the first leg of this African Football League quarter-final between Tepe Mazembe and Esperance. Just the one goal in it, coming in the first half thanks to the teenage striker.
Heading over now to the English Premier League, Aston Villa moved up to 5th on the league table following a commanding 4-1 win over West Ham United at home. Douglas Luiz scored twice for the hosts.
It's Watkins. It's Douglas Luiz. It's a goal via the goalkeeper's limp grasp. And already on the score sheet today. And consummately doubling Villa's lead as they close in on 11 home wins in a row. Then Jared Bowen. Deflection on that, takes it in. And no sooner do Aston Villa establish a position of apparent comfort than West Ham haul themselves, rather fortunately, back into the mix again. An invitation to Ollie Watkins. And Watkins goes himself and brings forth the most thunderous of raw. Bailey, nice feet, lovely finish, super moment for the Jamaican Leon Bailey. Only ever scores at Villa Park. All 8 of his Premier League goals have been here.
That will be all for sports here on News 360. I am Aniela Alute. Up next is entertainment news.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by
After 12 weeks of exciting rap performances on Unia TV's Kasahari president, 22-year-old rapper Emmanuel has been crowned the first president of Unia Kasahari. The grand finale, which was held on Friday, October 20, at the TV3 Executive Theatre, saw the 4 finalists taking turns to show their lyrical prowess.
It was the final showdown of the Unia TV Kasahari contest after 12 weeks of back-to-back thrilling performances from top amateur rappers in Ghana. 4 fired-up rappers Kojolab, Kwame Dave, Emrys and Kwame Barry came to the grand finale on Friday night to show their lyrical prowess.
Talents be brave, but stage way so for the last 12 weeks. Ever trauma bobre. I feel the final 4. Final 4 no so ever trauma bobre ne. Into a winner.
After 2 rounds of absolute entertainment, 22-year-old rapper Emrys was crowned the new king on the rap block in Ghana.
The winner for the maiden edition of Onyeka Sahari President is Emrys.
Aside the bragging rights as the winner of the maiden Onua TV Kasahari President contest, Emrys received a check of 15,000 Ghana cedis, a recording deal and promotion on all media general platforms worth 50,000 Ghana cedis, 3 master songs and a music video.
Yeah, I ain't got time cause I know the clock is ticking. Venom, come and see the python spitting. Yes, I'm Mr. Beef, I prefer chicken. So media come to me, I still don't never catch him. I'm a big boy. That's why anytime they listen to me, they are wishing. Some me take a position. So men see me, they feel like something is missing. You wanna compare, you need to quit tripping. Oh my God, call me Mr. Rap. Like I was born to do this, I don't wanna stop.
Congratulations to Emrys there. And that's it for entertainment. Time now for international news.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has warned Hezbollah, Lebanon's most powerful military force, against opening a second war front with Israel. It would be making the mistake of its life if it did, he said when speaking to Israel's troops near the border with Lebanon. Israel's military has meanwhile vowed to intensify airstrikes on Gaza and has warned Palestinians still in the north of the territory to flee south. It has been 2 weeks since Hamas launched its assault on Israel, killing more than 1,400 people. Palestinian officials in Gaza say more than 4,600 have been killed since then. Zimbabwe has been struggling to contain spread of cholera outbreak, with the government announcing measures amid fears of a repeat of its 2008 outbreak that sparked a national emergency. Cholera cases span all 10 of Zimbabwe's provinces, with the most alarming spike in the southeastern provinces of Masvingo and Manicaland, the epicenter of the crisis. According to government estimates, cholera outbreak has killed more than 100 people and infected 5,000 since February.
And that's it for tonight's edition of News 360. It came to you live from our news hub here at Desawe, Kanda in Accra. There's more news on 3news.com. My name is Aisha Yakubu-Hale.
And my name is Martin Asiedu-Dati. Thank you for your company. Up next is Mentor.
Enjoy.